I really enjoy that she gets to basically just tell a bunch of men that are much bigger and older than her to piss off," Lauren Lyle says with a grin. The 32-year-old actor is telling me about the delicious catharsis that comes with playing Karen Pirie, the straight-talking, bumbag-wearing young detective who takes the title role in one of the most original British crime dramas in years. As a young woman, she notes, "I feel like I deal a lot with female rage. I'm interested in that, and in frustration. I feel like we're always having to keep a lid on it. I don't feel like we see that emotion very often, and it's not allowed to breathe." With Karen, though, this fury isn't just given space to breathe, it's allowed to boil over completely. Towards the start of the second season of the ITV show, one of Karen's police superiors describes her as blinkered and extraordinarily rude. Would she just be called blunt if she were a bloke? She also likes to unwind by screaming into the void, heavy metal blasting through the speakers. "It was really important to me to be able to show that frustration, and actually show what people do in their bedrooms, or effing screaming in the car," the actor says. "We're speaking over Zoom, during the first of what will turn out to be several July heat waves." She's perched on the wooden floor of her London flat, blonde hair pushed back with a grey headband, glass of iced water in hand, Dyson fan blasting out cool air because it's just too warm to sit on the sofa behind her. It's a brilliant role for Lyle, and her first proper effing lead, as she puts it, with appealing candor, in softened Glaswegian tones. She grew up in the Scottish city's South Side area, then her family relocated to New Zealand when she was in her teens, after her dad got a job in Auckland. "I've moved around a lot in my life, so I've had to tone down my accent," she says. Before Karen Pirie, she had supporting parts in the Highlands set, time-traveling period piece Outlander, as the quietly determined Marcelly, and in the BBC's claustrophobic Sunday night thriller Vigil, playing an anti-nuclear activist. Since then, she's appeared in Netflix's Toxic Town and Saoirse Ronan-led book adaptation The Outrun. As Karen, who's the creation of legendary tartan noir novelist Val McDermid, when Lyle landed the role, her dad solemnly reminded her that McDermid is the queen of crime. She's alternately dryly funny and standoffish, willfully naive and emotionally astute. In other words, she is a refreshing antidote to decades of programming about grizzled cops weighed down by divorces and drinking problems. She wanted, above all, to stop the show from falling into any cozy crime situation, she adds. "Some people think ITV detective, and go to watch it and they're like, whoa. It's so not what I expected it to be. And I love that. So did critics and, arguably more importantly, viewers. The part has earned her 2 BAFTA Scotland Awards, Best Actress and the Audience Award for Favourite Scot on Screen, voted for by the public. Basically, as she puts it, it's not Vera. The fact that Karen lives in a bang-average house share with one of her colleagues, played by the show's writer Ian McKenney, adds another enjoyable layer of realism. Lyle and Kenny quickly struck up a close, collaborative working relationship on season 1, and have become such good pals that she's been asked whether she got the role because you re her best friend, right? For Lyle, Karen Pirie was her first lead acting role. For Kenny, it was her first time as a lead writer on such a high-profile show. The pair bonded over this shared milestone. And they also fed their own experiences of professional frustrations, being underestimated for looking young, for example, into the script. There's one scene in season 2 where a potential suspect sniggers that Karen looks like a toddler that'll trigger an eye roll of recognition from anyone who's still getting ID'd. In her early 30s, there are things like, as a woman, you get hugged a lot more in a professional environment than you get a handshake, things like that, this strange patronizing that can go on, Lyle says. In the first series, a viral true crime podcast about the murder of a young woman in St Andrews prompts Karen's superiors to reopen the cold case investigation, 25 years later. It's intended as a good PR move, and there are whispers that Karen has only been put on the job because of the optics of hiring a young, female officer. But Lyle and Kenny wanted the character to be a girl that knows what it feels like to be scared to walk home, and knows what it feels like to be told to put her keys in her hands if she felt under threat, essentially, for the case she's solving to have real, personal resonance. The fact that they were filming in the spring of 2021, when news of the murder of Sarah Everard horrified the nation, gave the project an uncomfortable urgency, too. As a woman, you get hugged a lot more in a professional environment than you get a handshake. It felt quite profound, Lyle says, to be a part of something that reminds us that violence against women is happening, and we can't just sit by and pretend it's not. In Season 2, the focus shifts to another cold case, centering around the abduction of an oil heiress and her baby son in the 80s. It's an investigation that raises questions about the ideal of the perfect, photogenic female victim, and how the media often becomes fixated on such stories.